All right, let's look at some questions about job order cost sheets and brief job order cost sheets, perhaps. I think is what we're going to be talking about right here. So we've got a couple of multiple choice questions to start us off with that are objective, no calculations involved. Which of the following is true about the job order cost sheet? It's going to be prepared for every job. This is true in a job order costing system. So that sounds good. It is a subsidiary of the work in process account. That is also true. It is the primary document for accumulating all costs related to a particular job. That is true. And in fact, it does contain all information pertinent to that job. So make sure that you understand that a job order cost sheet can do all four of these things. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and circle E. The more important thing is to know that the job order cost sheet can actually serves all of these purposes. All right. Let's see what we have here. It says, which of the following is the order in which cost elements flow through accounts until they are recognized as an expense? Okay, so raw materials is the where we would actually start at the very beginning and look at choice B, raw materials to work in process. That's good, but we have a problem. Purchase returns is not part of that process. So what that tells us, since that's the only choice that starts with materials, is that we're not actually starting at the very beginning here. And if we look at choice A, it says work in process. That's the number 2 step, then to finished goods, and then to cost of goods sold. So the only way this answer could be any better was if we inserted materials right here in front of work in process. But this is the correct sequence, after materials are requisitioned. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and circle that because A is the correct answer given the choices that we have. Looks like we may have some calculations here. It says plant-wide overhead is 150% of direct labor costs. Okay, so we've got direct labor cost as our activity level. That sometimes happens whenever we have highly skilled employees. We use cost rather than hours because there's so much variance in how much they make per hour. Job cost sheets had the following balances, and so basically we have jobs 1 through 4, and these are the balances. It says jobs Z3 and Z4 were not completed at the end of December, and they want to know what is the balance in work in process at the end of December. Well, if jobs Z3 and Z4 were not completed, we probably need to count those. So I'm assuming that these two here are completed, so we don't want to count those. Bring our trusty calculator over here. 35,000 for job Z3 plus 18,750. 53,750, and look at that, my pencil's already pointing to the right answer, and there it is. So this looks, if you just took a glance at this initially, you'd think, well, this is kind of a hard question, or might be, but then you actually look at what they want to know, and it's not so difficult after all. Might be able to handle that. All right, so this one is going to be a little bit more involved, but nothing that we can't handle if we work together. Says, let's just see what they want to know first. What is the cost of goods sold for the month of March? Okay, so I highly suggest that if you really want to understand how to do all of this, because we could ask a whole lot of questions from this scenario. I do have a fairly long video on brief job order cost sheets that you might find helpful, and you might not. So they design and build basketball gymnasiums. These are all custom built, as is the case with anything in a job order costing system, to customer specifications. Sunlight uses job order costing to keep track of its costs. That's good because that's what chapter we're in. In March, it worked on 3 jobs, and we have the information here. Says that overhead is applied at a rate of $20 per machine hour. And of course, looks like it's going to give us the machine hours for each job. That comes in handy. By March 31st, job 178 is the only one unfinished. So job 78 is a part of work in process. Notice the question is, what is cost of goods sold? So if it were me, I would just immediately cross this job off because it's not completed. And they want to know cost of goods sold. I can't sell it if it's not completed. Additional information. The balance of finished jobs on March the 1st is $60,000, consisting of job number 177. Okay. Jobs 177 and 179 are sold during March. Sunlight sells its product at a cost of 30%. So what? I'm not asking you to calculate gross margin or revenue or anything like that, so that doesn't matter. So let's see here. 177 and 179 are sold. Well, that means that 175 is complete but has not sold. So this is strictly finished goods. And they didn't ask for finished goods. They asked for cost of goods sold. I'm going to put an X through it just like so. All right. So we know a couple things. Job 177 equals $60,000 in cost. Where'd I get that number? Well, they told me right here. 177, there it is. And we sold that one, so we're going to need that number. And then 179. So it looks like we've got 32,600, 42,000, and then we've got to account for our machine hours. We have 3,000 machine hours times $20 per machine hour equals 60,000. So times $20 per machine hour equals 60,000. Okay. So we can just take these costs. This 60,000 right here on the calculator is for this $60,000 in overhead. I'm going to go kind of backwards here. Direct labor cost of 42,000 plus direct materials of 32,600 plus this 60,000 here from job 177. So that's a different 60,000 equals 194. So 134,600 was our total for job 179. We add those together, we come up with 194,600, and that happens to match choice B. And that is all there is to it.